Hello everyone, this is Donna from Even the Scales. Thank you if you've clicked on my video today. I'm on my channel right now because I just want to talk about the abuse that I've been through today since I woke up this morning. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm being put through stalking and abuse here in Campbelltown, New South Wales. And it's been happening to me for the past 22 months. And these people are doing this because it's all a part of a justice system cover-up. And there is a huge network of people involved in this abuse. And what they're actually trying to do is abuse me so much that I give up on my own life, or I have some kind of health episode, either a mental health episode or a physical health episode. And this is because they try and put me through abuse every single chance they get. I'm surrounded by people that have been putting me through abuse. I'm surrounded by people who have actually been hired to try and take my life, that live around me. These people stalk me 24 hours a day and they're obsessed with it, and they just look for any opportunity to harm me, especially now because they know that the truth's getting out there about what they've done, and these people are desperate. All of these people are desperate, actually, the people that have been involved in this, because I could see that very clearly when I went out today. I was stalked by many people. So when I woke up this morning, there were men set up, ready to carry out noise and pollution abuse. There aren't as many of these men taking part in the abuse of a morning anymore on the roads, and that is because these people, like the truth's getting out about them. So they could even be being watched right now. So there isn't as much of the noise and pollution attacks going on anymore, thank goodness. But there were still men set up this morning waiting to carry out noise and pollution attacks, and that was based on my movements in my home, like it has been for the past 22 months. These men are viewing into my home illegally. They're also watching a monitor that has been implanted in my body, so they know the second that I wake from my sleep, and they start carrying out abuse. This morning, though, they actually waited for probably about 10 minutes before they actually started carrying out noise abuse. Maybe they're trying to make it look less obvious. I'm not sure. But the stalkers were still out there this morning. And all of these people that are involved in this, they're all viewing into my home illegally, including the neighbours that are involved in this. They're all watching my devices illegally, and they're all watching this monitor that's been implanted in my body. And it's happening because of corruption in the health system and in the justice system. And they have gotten my landlord involved, who is St George Community Housing. I also have family members involved in this abuse because they've stolen an inheritance from me. And then from there, it has just grown. I mean, I was put through 5.5 weeks of cruel torture, psychological torture at the Campbelltown Public Hospital back in February, March of 2024. And it's people like the people that were involved in that are sending these stalkers out after me. There's also a lot of large organisations that have been involved in this that have been paid to put me through abuse when I go to their organisations to use their services. And a lot of those organisations know that the truth's getting out about what they've done as well. So I feel like, a lot of those organisations that have money are also paying stalkers to go out after me when I go out, and they were paying people to stalk me in my home. But yeah, as I said, that's not happening as much anymore. Anyway, so as soon as I woke up this morning, there were people stalking me. Then one of the neighbours was tampering with my air. The woman that lives in the unit next door to me. All of these neighbours, the 3 that are joined to my home, can tamper with the air in my home because St George Community Housing has rigged this unit that I live in and turned it into a torture chamber. But the truth's getting out about that too. So they haven't been able to do that as much, but they are still doing that. One of the neighbours was still tampering with my air this morning. That is because these people are panicking. They're panicking, they know the truth's getting out, and they know what they've done. I mean, the 3 neighbours and other neighbours around here, they've been involved in putting me through horrific abuse for the past 22 months, and they know that they're going to go to jail when they're caught, so they're panicking. But I really don't know what they hope to get out of tampering with my air, because all it's doing is allowing me to speak the truth more on this channel about what they're doing. And it's also allowing me to speak about everyone else that's involved in this as well. So it's happening because of corruption. And when I went out today, there was stalkers on the road that just come from every direction, hundreds of them. And, the people that are stalking me, because of this implant in my body, they must be able to track me wherever I am at any given time. They're also able to track my vehicle because there's a tracker on my vehicle. There's also a camera in my car that these people watch me on. I was thinking that maybe my car was just bugged, but I'm pretty sure that there's a camera in my car, an illegal camera. There's also illegal cameras in my home, which I just mentioned. But the thing is, these people, they're all going to one place to get this information. This is the only way that they can be doing this and all working together to put me through abuse, because yes, it's a huge network of people involved in this. And they're all working together to try and abuse me to death as a community so that no one looks guilty of doing what they're doing. They want to try and cause me a health episode so that it looks like it's happened naturally. They want me to sound crazy for talking about this. But no, this is actually happening. This must be what the New South Wales corrupt members of the justice system and health system are resorting to these days to escape accountability for their crimes. So when I went out on the road today, I was stalked by hundreds and hundreds of vehicles. These vehicles aren't only stalking me, they're also creating unnecessary noise and pollution wherever they go. And when I drove in the direction where I went today, I could see the pollution in the air. It's really bad. It is. And I was stalked by a lot of utes today, which is a regular thing. I get stalked by a lot of men in the large type of utes, the ones that are like the Ford Rangers. But they're all different makes and models, but they're just like that shape of vehicle, like the Ford Ranger ones. The large utes that use a lot of fuel and create a lot of probably more pollution than smaller vehicles. That's what these people try and do. They try and create as much pollution as they possibly can. And they're doing that because they know I care about the environment. They know that I do. I actually go out of my way to do things to work towards having a greener community. And what I do, it actually saves a lot of CFCs and carbons from being emitted into the atmosphere. So this is why they are doing this. This is why these people create pollution on purpose. It's just so pointless, and it's madness, really. It's absolute madness, but that is why they're doing that. That's one of the reasons. Another one of the reasons is these men are trying to intimidate me everywhere I go and let me know that they are stalking me and viewing into my home illegally and monitoring my movements. And it's not just men. There's a lot of women out there still stalking me as well. Last night, I was still being stalked in my home as well. There were still abusive men stalking my home, and they're doing this around my movements in my home. They're doing it at specific times of the day. So yes, today on the road, there was hundreds and hundreds of vehicles. They come from every direction. There was a lot of trucks on the road. I also heard trucks taking part in the noise abuse this morning. They deliberately use their air brakes when they drive around here to deliberately just create as much noise as possible and to let me know that they are viewing into my home illegally. So there was a lot of trucks out there stalking me today, which is usually the case when I go in this direction where I went today. And there was just vehicles of all types, really. But yeah, a lot of utes, a lot of trucks, and a lot of tradesmen that stalk me for some reason. And yeah, they were just everywhere, hundreds and hundreds of them. They were putting their headlights on to show their numbers, to try and intimidate me and make me think that the whole world was against me. But they're not doing that as much anymore either. I don't know, maybe they think they might be being watched also. But they were still out there, and there was hundreds of them today. These are all people. They're going on to some kind of platform somewhere where they can watch these people watch my heartbeat. They watch my vital signs as they put me through abuse. And this monitor has been placed in my, implanted in my body by corrupt members of the health system that have worked with corrupt members of the justice system to do this. And these people actually watch my heartbeat as they carry out abuse to see if I'm panicking. They're also watching my vital signs, and that's how they know when I wake up of a morning. Sometimes before I even move, these people are carrying out noise and pollution attacks. Or the neighbours will be carrying out abuse. So these people are viewing into my bedroom too. I have no privacy whatsoever. And it doesn't matter, what I do. If I was to move from this home, which is another thing they would love me to do, they would love me just to run away from my home to get away from this abuse. But wherever I go, this is going to follow me because it is corrupt members of the justice system and health system that's involved in this. And when I moved from my last address, they followed me here to put me through abuse from down there. So it's going to happen to me no matter where I go. These people want me gone because of the crimes that they've been involved in. So they're all going on some kind of platform to put me, to monitor my heartbeat, to view into my home. These people view into my home and watch every single detail of everything I do to get ideas on how to put me through psychological abuse. They also view my devices illegally. So they see everywhere I'm going, every appointment I'm going to. They also track my vehicles. So they're going on that platform and they're also tracking my vehicle. There's some common point that these people are going to on the internet to get this information and to stalk me. And they play it like some kind of game. And when I'm stalked in public, it's like they try to get close to me. Like even when I get out of my vehicle, like when I got out of my vehicle at the shopping centre today, there were stalkers. There weren't as many stalkers, but there was still plenty of stalkers out there. They come from every single direction and they're all there to carry out some kind of psychological abuse. And it's usually very cruel abuse. There was men, women, people of all ages, involved in it, and there has been right the way throughout this. And they're all going on this one platform to get all of this information, and they play this like a game, and they try and get close to me when I'm out. They try and get close to me so that they can, what they'll do is they'll use certain trigger words. Like where I went today, I had to wait in a waiting room because they know everywhere I go. They're watching my devices. They see all of my appointments. They know everything I'm doing. And there was people there. There's always been people set up for the past 22 months at least at places where I go to like that are there just to, what they'll do is they'll carry out conversations. They'll get near me and carry out conversations, and they will like drop certain trigger words in their conversations that are meant to provoke me. Or they will just be there carrying out some kind of visual psychological abuse. They also send a lot of lookalikes from my abusers from the past. But it's all meant to try and trigger me into having some kind of mental health breakdown in public so that I go crazy. Because this is what they would love to happen. Because then they could take me back to the Campbelltown Public Hospital and, say that I made all this up and I was crazy. But I'm absolutely not crazy. This is happening to me. There's 600 videos on my channel, almost. It's getting up around 600 that prove that I'm not crazy, because there's no way that I would have had to keep doing something this long and, keep... What I'm trying to achieve here is freedom from this, because I'm actually being held hostage by this organised crime network of people that are involved in this. And like I said, I'm stalked everywhere I go, every second of the day, whether it's people viewing into my home illegally or in public. So I'm trying to raise public awareness of this, to try and have these people caught for what they've done, and to have these cameras removed from my home, because this landlord has placed these illegal cameras in my home, and they've taken bribes to try and abuse me to death in my home. He's hired neighbours to do this, and there's plenty of the neighbours around me that are involved in this. There's only a couple of them that are not involved. And this landlord, St George Community Housing, has been doing this. They've been taking bribes to abuse people to death in their homes, and they've actually modified this unit that I live in. And this was all set up from the day that I moved into this unit. So I have to go through a lot of the details of why this is happening to me when I want to, update what's happened to me in the last couple of days, because otherwise people, they won't really understand why this is happening. I have to speak about the big picture of what's happening here, why it's happening, and who's involved. But I'll also attach some videos to the end of this one. You're welcome to have a look at those, and they will go into more detail about the environmental crimes that have been committed here in Campbelltown, New South Wales over the past 22 months as a part of this abuse, and also what's being done to me and the impact that this would have had on this community and other surrounding communities. It's a crime against humanity. That's what it could be classified as, because it's just so... It's a massive crime network, and there's just been so much that's happened here as a part of this, and the abuse that I've been through is just so cruel and horrific that, and for a start, I have no privacy. You know, you would never think that something like this could happen to someone here in Australia. That, you know, but obviously there's landlords out there that are putting illegal cameras in people's homes and getting away with it. So that's another reason why this needs to be brought out publicly. You know, this needs to be exposed to the public so that it can never happen again to anybody else, because who knows how many people have been through something like this where they've been driven to the point of madness and, you know, actually had a mental health breakdown in public. And, you know, so what they'd love to do is put me in hospital and I'll never get out. That's what they're trying to achieve. The fact that my family have stolen an inheritance from me too, they did that, and they did it on false pretenses. They lied, and they would. What they would like to happen is that, and the corrupt members of the justice system that helped them do that, they would like me to have some kind of physical health breakdown, even so that I couldn't take care of myself anymore, because that's the only way that they can get away with stealing my inheritance and my legacy from me. That's what I can gather from this. They're trying to cause this health episode so they don't have to be held accountable for that, and so they don't have to give it back to me, because they've taken that from me on false pretenses. So yeah, that they don't care how it happens, but they're trying to cause me either a physical or mental health episode, or they would they're also trying to make me just give up hope on my life, because I'm just being put through so much abuse. And it's only that I have such a strong will to live, and that I have a lot of respect for myself, that I've got through this, because these people try and affect my self-esteem every time I go out, every minute of the day when they can. They're trying to affect my self-esteem. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to make it known that this is all still happening to me. There's not as much stalking going on around my home, but when I went out today, there was still stalkers everywhere. And yeah, these are people that are viewing into my home illegally. So I really want these people caught and held responsible for what they've done, the ones that are responsible for doing this to me. So thank you if you've listened to this video. And if you can help me in any way to raise public awareness of this, I'd really appreciate it. If you can help me in any way to get justice, please help me, because this is taking a huge toll on my health, and it's absolutely urgent that I get help as soon as possible. So yeah, thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.